Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you are brand new here, welcome in. This is a little bit of an introduction video to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. This was actually achieved last month, but as of this recording, it has been bumped up to 11,000, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support that you've shown my channel and shown me. It's just been a great few months doing all of this, getting used to reacting and, going through this whole process of creating for YouTube and sharing my love of music with you guys and interacting with all of you. It's been such a great time. It's been such a blessing, and this channel has really kind of become my safe space to talk about music and to learn more about different cultures and learn more about the artists that you guys love. And I truly could not be more thankful for that. And I feel like I'm so bad with words, and there are not enough words out there in any language to really express how thankful I am, but I hope you guys all know that your support does mean a lot to me, and I see all of your comments, and I'm very thankful for you guys for interacting with me and letting me know what you guys like and what you want me to react next to, and I've found so many great artists thanks to your suggestions. So yeah, keep them coming. I can't wait to bring you guys more amazing things in 2024, and I can't wait to get to those reactions that you guys have finally been asking me for. I have a whole Excel sheet full of them. That's kind of how I organize all of my reactions and the artists I need to look at and the ones that I have to do. It's just a whole Excel sheet with everything going on there. But for today, I thought I would kind of do a little introduction video for myself because I don't really talk about too many personal things on this channel. I really try to keep it focused on the music and the artists and the content and everything. But I thought that since there are now 11,000 plus of you guys following me on here, I thought I would introduce myself a little bit and give you guys a little more info about me and kind of who I am as a person outside of my channel and behind the camera and all that. So I hope you guys enjoy. So for those of you guys who don't know, my name is Kelly. That's, the channel is Reactions by Kelly. That is my actual name. I am 24 years old and I'm based in Central Florida. Also, if I keep looking off to the side, my iPad is right here with all of my notes and information because I don't trust myself to just do this on the fly. So I wrote everything down first. Yeah, I'm based in Central Florida. My family basically consists of myself, my sister, and my parents. My mom is from Bacolod City in the Philippines, and my dad is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and my sister is 3 years younger than me, and she and I share a lot of the same tastes in things, including similar tastes in music. So she's gone to quite a few of the concerts that I've been to, and she's kind of like my travel buddy, my theme park buddy, everything like that. So she's great. I love her very much. And my hobbies, I have quite a few. I love going to concerts. That's a newfound one, but I truly enjoy them. I love to bake because I got a sweet tooth. I love visiting theme parks. I love visiting Renaissance fairs. I love making PPOP merch, and those are going to be like the bracelets that I make because they're kind of hard to get here in the US. PPOP merch in general, official merch is kind of difficult to get here. So I sort of resorted to making my own. But if you guys go on my TikTok, and I'll link all my social media down in the description box, I make my own little beaded bracelets and, different ones for different groups. And I have so many more that I need to make, and they're all sitting in my room, and I have yet to put them all together for different groups. But I enjoy doing that. And sometimes I make my own shirts or have them printed somewhere and design them and kind of make these unique fan-made shirts. With that being said, I do, of course, encourage you guys to go purchase the official merch to support the artists if you can, but a lot of them don't ship overseas, so you got to jump through hoops to get official merch sometimes. But I've been lucky enough to get some official merch from SB19 and some of the other groups that I like. I love going to the beach. And, being in Florida, there's never a beach that's too far away. I love watching different movies and series. Some of my favorite ones are Star Wars. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, massive Star Wars girly. I love Marvel. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. I love Lord of the Rings, as you guys can tell by the Arwen necklace. And my favorite series tend to be C-dramas. I got really into them because my favorite TV show is The Untamed, and that basically catapulted me into watching foreign language dramas and series, things like that. I really love High and Low, which is a Japanese movie series, and it's on Netflix if you guys want to check that out. And then as far as animated series go, I really like Demon Slayer, Arcane, and Trece. And I think all of those are on Netflix, as far as I know. Some fun facts about me: I went to college in Orlando for both my bachelor's and for my master's degrees. I have a scuba license. I have a black belt in Taekwondo and a brown belt in karate, all of which I got before I went to college and came to Orlando for that. But martial arts has always been a lot of fun for me, and it's always been just a great passion of mine. I've worked for both the Disney parks and for the Universal parks. My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip cookie dough, just because I thought that'd be kind of fun to talk about. If you have a favorite ice cream flavor, comment below what yours is. I moved around a lot as a kid, so I've lived in multiple hometowns throughout my youth. And so when people ask me, like, where are you from? What's your hometown? I always answer whatever the most recent hometown is, wherever that might be. So I don't really have like a hometown that I grew up in or that I was from, because I've just lived in quite a few cities for my childhood. So yeah. And speaking of moving around, I also love to travel a lot. That's one of my favorite hobbies, one of my favorite things to do. As far as international travel, I've been to Mexico, the Cayman Islands, the Bahamas, London, England, the Philippines, Singapore, and soon Tokyo, Japan. And I'm so excited for that. And as far as local, or rather national, domestic travel, my parents really love the national parks. So I've been everywhere from Yellowstone to the Grand Canyon to the Rocky Mountains, the Smoky Mountains, and my family has rented cabins in Tennessee and North Carolina before, so they really love doing that. Been to quite a few cities. I've been to Chicago, New York, Boston, Miami, Houston, and so many others. Like, we've gone to so many different places here in the US, but there are definitely still places that I haven't been to in the US that I'd love to go to. One of them being the West Coast. I've never been to California or up to the Northwest, like the Pacific Northwest. I'd love to go up there and check out Seattle and just the forests up there, because I've seen pictures and it looks so gorgeous and it gives Twilight aesthetic, and I think that would be really cool to see in person. Okay, so on to another topic that is kind of central to the theme of this channel: my taste in music. I really love going to concerts. I haven't really been going to a lot of like K-pop and P-pop concerts until recently, but I do really love watching live performances. I love watching musicals as well. I guess if you wanted to really count that as my first concert, first live show, whatever, that would be it. I saw Newsies in 2014, Disney's musical Newsies. It was in New York on Broadway, and it was like a month before they closed on Broadway, so I was lucky enough to be able to see that. And then I saw Les Miserables and Phantom of the Opera in London on West End. That was in 2017. That was super fun. And the Jean Valjean that was in Les Miserables was actually one of the Barricade Boys in the movie with Hugh Jackman, which I thought was really cool. So I knew that going in, and I was so excited to see him. I also saw Les Mis again in, I think, 2018 or 2019. I can't remember what year it was, but it was the national tour. When they came to Orlando, I got to see them, and I really loved it. Now, as far as other concerts for groups and artists that I like, I mean, I have technically, before I became part of the whole fan base thing, I went to one in 2016. That was for Celtic Thunder, which, if you guys have not seen my reaction to their newest album, it's on my channel. You're welcome to go check that out. It's in the playlists. But they were, I guess, technically the first concert, first live show that wasn't a musical that I went to go see. I saw them in Houston. But as far as going to bigger concerts, stadium concerts, things like that, I started doing that in 2022. So in the past 2 years, between 2022 and now, I've been to 8 concerts. My first one was One Us, the K-pop group One Us, when they came to Orlando. Then we saw Monsta X. And then we actually flew to Atlanta to go see Stray Kids for their Maniac tour, or the Ordinary tour, but it was canceled the day of due to COVID, so we were not able to see them. We haven't been able to see them since. That's one of my goals, is to be able to see Stray Kids in concert one day. So fingers crossed, but I don't count that because we didn't actually see them. But I also saw a rock concert when they came to Central Florida. It was a stadium tour for Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, and Joan Jett. And then after that, I saw SB19's Wyatt tour in New York. And then fast forward again to 2023, I saw SB19 again in Chicago and Dallas. And then I saw Celtic Thunder when they came to Orlando in October. And then I saw Emmett Cahill, who's my bias from Celtic Thunder, when he came to Jacksonville to perform for his Christmas solo show. So yeah, like I said, that totals 8 concerts in the past 2 years. So as you guys can tell, my music taste is pretty diverse. And the funny thing about me is when I get into certain genres of music, it's almost like going through eras, you know? And what I've noticed is that there's going to be a certain artist or a certain group that will introduce me to the genre. And then I listen to them for a little bit to see if I like them and if I like the genre. And then there's going to be a second group or a second artist that I will get into or listen to. And then from there, it just becomes like a landslide. That second artist really determines whether or not I want to go check out more artists from that specific genre. So I guess, you know, for one example, I guess my first fixation on a certain artist would be, I guess you could consider One Direction back in like 2011. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old at the time. But it was them first, and then followed by The Wanted, which was another pop group sort of in the similar genre, also from the UK. And I fell in love with both of those groups, and it kind of set me off on that, you know, love for pop groups, pop bands, boy bands in a sense. So I've been a fan of pop since pretty much forever. But after that whole UK boy band phase that I went through, I became a fan of musicals in 2014, which is when I started high school. And, or 2013, I guess, is when I started high school. But I was in drama. I was a theater kid in high school, so that really introduced me to musicals, and I fell in love with them from there. And I still love them. I still listen to soundtracks and from different shows or from musicals, though I haven't been keeping up with some of the newer ones that have been coming out. I'm a little bit behind on that, but there are a lot that I love. My favorite one is Newsies. That was the one that really got me into seeing them live, and that will always have a very special place in my heart. I love that show so dearly. And then I became a fan of Celtic Thunder in 2015, and then Celtic Woman shortly after. And that they introduced me to the world of Celtic music and Irish music and Scottish music in general, and it's been a genre that I've loved dearly ever since then. And then I became a fan of rock music and 80s pop around 2018. The first group to sort of introduce me to that was Bon Jovi. I got into them, and then Skid Row shortly after. And then from there on, it was just all listening to a bunch of rock artists in that genre. So kind of like the 80s hair band melodic rock sort of genre. That's really what I connected with. And my favorite rock group is Europe as far as like 80s bands go, but I also really like as far as like the current 21st century rock groups, I guess Imagine Dragons, if you count them as a rock group, and Måneskin, if that's how you pronounce their name, from Italy. I love them. But as far as 80s rock, I love Europe. And then, of course, Bon Jovi, to this day I still love. Van Halen, Def Leppard, Queen. Those are some of my favorite ones. And then as far as 80s pop, I really like Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to his music for sure. And I really like Aha, which is a group from Norway. They did Take On Me, if you guys know that song. And then, Europe, my favorite rock group, they did The Final Countdown. So I know most of you guys have probably heard that one. And then I became a fan of K-pop in 2020, first starting with Stray Kids and then ATEEZ, and then all just from there. I was familiar with K-pop before I became a fan because all of my friends and my sister listened to it, but as a genre, I didn't really get into it until I found Stray Kids and then ATEEZ, and that's when I started listening to all these different artists, and now I love so many artists. Like, if y'all look at my K-pop playlist, it is literally hundreds of songs long because I just love listening to so many different people. I just found a love for the genre. And then, of course, in 2022, I became a fan of P-pop thanks to SB19 first, and then Alamat second, and then all downhill from there, discovering all these different groups. And from there, I found a love for OPM as a whole, and it's been amazing ever since. So that was really my newest thing. And then, of course, I think M-pop and I-pop and T-pop through this channel, I've been learning more about different categories of Asian pop, and it's been really amazing getting to see all these different genres that I never considered before. So I'm very thankful that I get to do so. And now I have a few questions that were commented on a post from last month when I was asking for questions on YouTube. This is from MST_palette3527. First question is, how has it been discovering more pop groups, especially Southeast Asian pop groups, and what are some of the similarities and differences? Some of the similarities I've noticed were they all have very diverse members, and a lot of the groups are multilingual, and this spans across P-pop, M-pop, I-pop, things like that. And if you look at I-pop, like Calixto, for example, that boy group, they have members from all different parts of Indonesia. And as far as I know, they have different languages, kind of like Alamat as well, where they really pride themselves in having a very diverse group. I remember Alamat and Calixto did a video once comparing all their native languages and different words between all the languages to see what was similar and what was different. And that's one of my favorite videos I've ever seen from both groups, because it's really interesting to just compare and contrast their different cultures. So I really love that they are diverse. And I also like that visually they're all very diverse. If you look at Dala, and you look at SB19, you look at all these different Southeast Asian groups, what I love about them is they don't make their members stick to one beauty type or one beauty standard. They style them to make them look like a cohesive group while still keeping their individual expressions as far as their fashion goes, but you don't see them stick to one particular skin color or one particular physical feature. And even though I grew up here in the US, I know how prevalent those types of beauty standards have been in both Southeast Asia and Korea and China. Each country has their own specific beauty standard that they want their celebrities to stick to. And I like that Southeast Asian artists are really breaking out of that and breaking the mold and expressing the joy of being a diverse group and having all these visuals that don't necessarily stick to one specific beauty standard. Because honestly, beauty standards are ridiculous anyway. So, and what I noticed, that's a big difference that I noticed between SEA pop and K-pop and C-pop and J-pop, is they like to have a certain beauty standard where all the idols, even though they don't look identical, you can tell that there's a certain visual standard that the idols have when they debut. If you look at all of the newer, especially the newer debuts for both girl groups and boy groups, they all fit that standard very well, and they're all very good looking, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see more diversity. And the more culturally and ethnically diverse idols in Korea, I feel like, are very underrated and still being very pushed aside to promote idols that do stick to that more rigid beauty standard. And I hope that changes within the next few years, because I would love to see more international members become Korean idols. And I know this year there were quite a few artists that debuted that had Western and idols from Latin American countries and, in South Asian countries. And I think that's really great. I love seeing that boost in diversity, but I really think that's a big strength, is their differences make them strong as far as SEA pop. And then there's similarities to K-pop and C-pop and J-pop, the use of traditional instruments like Blackpink's Pink Venom. I can't remember the name of that instrument, but that was one example of a good use of traditional Korean instruments in a pop song. And I know that P-pop artists have been doing that quite a bit. And I want to say, I know some M-pop artists have been, I think Dala did at some point, but it's really great to see them representing their culture in pop music. I think that's a really cool thing for people who didn't grow up in that culture or who grew up overseas. It's great to share a little bit of that with other people. And of course, the diversity of genres that they cover. If you look at, all the different groups from all the different Asian countries have a pretty diverse range. A lot of them dive into hip hop, EDM, R&B, ballads, all different things like that. And everybody has their own strengths, I feel like. That's one thing that I noticed that P-pop and OPM artists are really good at. They're really good at very heartfelt, emotional ballads. That's definitely a strength. And that's not to say they don't have strengths in other categories as well, but I feel like that's kind of what they're known for. And I see why. They're usually very good at it. Next, what are some of my alt fave pop groups? I love this question. Oh my God, we'd be here all day if I talked about all of them. I'm just going to give an example of maybe like 5 of each for boy groups and girl groups, or depending on how many I've heard, it might be less than that. But for K-pop, Stray Kids and ATEEZ, obviously, they got me into K-pop. They're my top two. I also really love NCT, Monsta X, and ONEUS. Monsta X and ONEUS, as I said, I saw them in concert, but there are so many others that I like too. BTS, of course, I have that like back there. I really love them. Yeah, I could go on all day about the groups that I like. And then for girls, I love Blackpink, ITZY, G-Idol, Everglow, aespa, and so many more, genuinely. Like, what I listen to is so big in terms of artists. Soloists, I also really like Chungha, I like Taemin, Somi, Kang Daniel, and CL, just to name a few. And then for P-pop boy groups, I love SB19, Alamat, I love Vision. Yes, My Love really snuck up on me and got me since their debut, and since then I've just been enjoying their vocals. First One. And then for the girls, I really like G22, Binny, Kaya, YG, Fourth Impact. And to be completely honest, guys, I know I'm listing a bunch of names here, but I love all of them. And that's not me generalizing, being like, yeah, I like them all. No, I genuinely listen to all of the groups and I love all of them. They're all on my playlist, and there are still some groups that I haven't checked out yet, I haven't reacted to yet, but those are going to be saved for next year because I do have them on my list. And then soloists, I really love Alex Bruce. I love Morissette. I love Zach Tabudlo. Zae, Z-A-E. I think that's how you say her name. She's really good. I like Valfer, Easy Mill, and then I think, is it Maris or Maris Rakal? I apologize if I'm mispronouncing her name. I haven't seen much of her content, but I do love her music. So I'm not quite sure how to say her name, but she's a very talented singer and actress. And then as far as M-pop goes, I've only listened to a few here and there, but Dala and OVA I think are my two favorites for sure. Global groups, I love XG and Horizon. For I-pop, I really like Calixto. I think that group is, they just kind of caught me by surprise. T-pop, I really love Formix. They were actually the first T-pop group I ever heard, and I haven't reacted to them yet on this channel, but I do love their music and their overall vibe. And DVI, I just reacted to them pretty recently and I liked them. C-pop, I don't listen to a whole ton of C-pop, but I really like Bon Bon Girls. They've disbanded a while ago, like a few years ago, but when they were together, I really liked their music. I thought they were really cute. Soloists, I really like Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. I like them because they were the leads in the show The Untamed, and I listened to a lot of their own music after I became a fan of the show, and they've just become two of my favorite soloists. But I feel like there are also a ton of Chinese artists that I listen to that are soloists that they're not coming to the top of my mind right now, but I do really like their music. As far as J-pop goes, okay, I guess I should mention J-rock. I like 1OK Rock. They're really good. J-pop, I listen to a lot of Exile Tribe because they were featured in the High and Low movie series, so that's how I got introduced to them. And then under Exile Tribe, there are all these little subgroups under them. So I really love the Rampage, Fantastics, J-Soul Brothers, and quite a few others. We'd be here all day if I named all of them and talked about all of them, but they're all really good. And then as far as soloists, my two favorites are from Exile Tribe. I really love Crazy Boy. He also goes by Ellie, I think, when he's with the group, but as a soloist, he goes by Crazy Boy. Go check him out, you guys. He's an incredible rapper, singer, whatever. He does a great job, and I'm obsessed with all of his music. And then Omi, O-M-I, or Hirumi Tosaka, he's also under Exile Tribe. I think they're actually both in J-Soul Brothers, but he's got some really, really great solo work too, and I'm absolutely obsessed with his stuff. So next question, in 2024, what pop groups am I most looking forward to? I honestly have not been paying attention to a lot of pre-debut artists or a lot of, pre-debut groups. But I know that there are quite a few artists that recently signed under GKD labels this year. So I'm excited to see where they go from there. I don't know too much about GKD. I did get a chance to meet them in Dallas for the Paktatag concert. I met them at the after party and they seem really nice, but I don't know too much about their label or their channel other than I know some of the artists who are signed under them, and they seems like everything's going well for them so far, so I wish them the best of luck with their label and everything. I know for Viva, 3 artists that are under Viva that I like, Migo and Gami formerly of Alamat, and then Martin is an artist that I am not familiar with, but I saw that the three of them formed a group. I don't know if it's a permanent thing or it was just a temporary thing for Alamat's concert earlier in December, but if they are going to continue to be a trio, I would love to see more of their work because they're all really good singers. And then I would also like to see the upcoming work for groups that lost members this year. There were a couple that had members drop out or, go on a long break. And I know it's difficult changing the dynamic when one member or two members drop out, but I think that it does, it's like a new chapter for that group. And I'm really excited to see where they go from there. And also, I know a couple of the groups changed management or they became independent. And I'm excited to see more of their work next year because it must not be easy being an artist and having that massive change in your career and that massive change in your management. So predictions for P-pop. I definitely think that P-pop is going to be a lot more global next year, especially after everything that went on this year. I think it's going to be a lot more prominent globally, especially in Asian pop music. We're going to see a lot more of them in Asian award shows, and we're going to see a lot more recognition from hopefully from Filipino award shows as well. There are going to be a lot more prominent and a lot more respected. I guess I should come right out and say that, more respected in the Philippines, because we've come a long way since 2018, but I think we still have a long way to go. So every artist and every group in the P-pop genre that is upcoming, that's pushing the boundary, I give them the biggest respect. So yeah, hopefully more international appearances and award shows as well. I would love for SB19 or any of the other P-pop artists to come over here to the US for one of the award shows here, or to perform, to be a guest on a talk show. That'd be super fun. I'm also predicting that P-pop is going to go more viral on TikTok, kind of like how Gento went viral on TikTok, and some other ones too went viral in the Philippines. I think Benny's Carrera did, Bakit Papa by Yara did a little bit. I think Maharani went viral for a little bit. I guess that was more last year than this year. But definitely, I'd like to see more P-pop artists go viral on TikTok. Hopefully more OSTs. I love when P-pop artists get involved with series and dramas and do OSTs. So fingers crossed that we'll see more of them in upcoming shows. And then, of course, more international fans coming to watch more P-pop fests. So kind of like P-pop Con. I've noticed this year there has been an increase of P-pop fests and different shows, different festivals where it's a combination of different P-pop artists together. I'm predicting more of that next year, and definitely predicting more international fans coming to the Philippines to watch either concerts or festivals, conventions, whatever. I think it's definitely going to increase next year, I would say. Not just from, the US and Canada, but from everybody in all the Asian countries, Australia. I'm hoping that, and maybe Dubai even. I'm hoping from Europe. I would love to see a lot of European fans go, and vice versa. I'd love to see more P-pop artists go to Europe because I think they'd have a great time there. And then favorite pop group members. I do want to say this about myself. I don't pick biases in any group that I like except for one, and that's Celtic Thunder. But they're not a pop group. But as far as P-pop, K-pop, J-pop, whatever, across the whole spectrum, I never pick biases. So I know a lot of you guys ask me in my comments on different videos, like, who's your bias for this group or that group? I don't have biases, you guys. But I mean, as far as artists that stand out in their genres as a whole, I'm just gonna go with P-pop at the moment, because K-pop, I'll try to think of some K-pop ones, but as far as P-pop, I mean, all of SB19, obviously they're my favorite artists ever, and they really stand out for a good reason. I really like Zhao from Alamat. I love his online presence. He's just so unique, and I can't think of a single idol who's like him. He's great. Jazz from G22, she's incredibly talented. Alexa from Kaya, I love her. And then Joshua from Yes My Love. He has probably one of the most distinct male voices in P-pop. I can always pick him out. If you put him in a lineup of male artists and they all started singing back to back, I could pick him out pretty well. As far as K-pop goes, I really like I.M from Monsta X. I think he's great. Lily from NMIXX is super good. I really like J-Hope from BTS because he's just so adorable and sunshiny and so crazy talented. Lisa from Blackpink. I mean, honestly, all of Blackpink, to be honest. And Jisoo. I love Jisoo's voice. NCT has Taeil from NCT. I was gonna say I love Taeil's voice. I think he deserves more love. There are so many artists that I think are like, stand out in their industries. But yeah, those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head. And then SEA countries that I would like to visit someday. Yes, all of them. I would love to see Malaysia, Thailand, Bali, Indonesia, Vietnam. I mean, I would definitely really, really like to see those. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but speaking of travel, I really, really want to travel back to the Philippines someday. I really, really want to go back. I went in 2015, but given the chance, I would love to go back again. I'd love to go see Scandinavia, all of Northern Europe. That's on my to-do list. Ireland and Scotland, that is definitely in my more short-term to-do list, like maybe 2024, 2025. That's one of my biggest goals, is to go visit Ireland or Scotland for an extended period of time. And I would also like to go see Canada. I've never been to Canada. That's another one that's in my short-term 24, 25 goals. I would definitely love to go check out Canada. And yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I feel like I'm not too great at talking about myself, so I don't really have that much info aside from, my hobbies and where I'm from and all that. But if you guys have any other questions for me, or if there's anything else you want to know, let me know down in the comments. I will try my best to get to everybody. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a little bit about me. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more. And I am so thankful, as I said at the beginning of the video, for all the support you guys have shown me so far. Next year, I'm very excited for the future of this channel. I really hope you guys are along for the ride next year. So I hope you all have a great rest of your December, great rest of your year, and I will see you all in 2024. So until then, have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys!